Okay, hi everybody. There's a bunch of you already here. So let me say hi to you guys. Hi Missy, hi Terry, hi Kat, hey Shelly. Hey Dee Dee. All right. So yeah, I don't really have much to show. Well, I don't have anything to show. I haven't bought anything. I haven't been doing anything. I did try, you guys. I'm gonna try again, but I tried Kat's stitchery um, drawing, and I felt a little bit overwhelmed. I am not cat and paste, okay? Just saying. And other than that, I have accomplished nothing. Yeah. So these little um, coloring things are fun though. So hi Linda, give Tim a hug for me. Yeah. So I don't know. I obviously need more practice, but that's why I bought this silly little book, and that's what I'm going to do. Um, I did work just a little bit more on the cherry blossom. I don't have it done yet, but I'm liking adding the blue. So I'm going to add a little bit of blue on it where the sky pokes through. But yeah, I didn't get much done on that. And I'd like to, thanks, Terry. Um, one thing I think Kat just has a knack for um, color selection for one thing, and making you feel real cozy, I guess, is how I felt about hers. But I watched through hers one time completely at regular speed. Um, and then I went back and watched it again, speed it up a little bit, and it didn't help. All right, what did Dee Dee say? Hey, bossy butt. I don't know what Dee Dee said. But anyway, I'll work on it. I'll do it again. It wasn't horrible. And one thing I did like about it, I used my alcohol markers, which I love my alcohol markers. Hi, Heather Janet. You are kicking butt on your art on Instagram, girl. I'll probably lose my original picture, but let's see who's at least texting me before I get started. Oh, yay. My guy's going to come put on my door. Let me see when. Um, Tomorrow is great. All right, I'm getting a new, hang on. Let me tell him. This guy is so hard to get a hold of. Tommor. God. Hang on. Yeah, I've been waiting for this door. So, yay. My door's coming tomorrow. Yay. Hi, Judy. Oh, anybody else I might have missed coming in? Hi, Jane. Um, Robert and I are both doing really well. And you guys, I don't know. His new medicine seems to be working well. I didn't know what to expect from it, but yeah, we're doing okay. Life is very manageable. And um, unless he does something stupid, I can do this. Hi, Sherry. So, yeah. Yeah, that's the best I can say. But, I don't want you guys worrying about me. We're doing well. One thing hit me last night, and I've had my ups and downs. But last night we went to bed shortly after 9. I try to go to bed early on Dee Dee night. So um, we were climbing into bed, and he got into bed before me. And so I was doing all my stuff, and finally I was ready to shut out my light, and leaned over and kissed him goodnight. And I thought, just having that is worth everything. So, yeah, I'm okay. I'm really good. So, anyway, yeah. Anyway, that artist that I have followed on Instagram forever and done several of her paintings and like what she does, it's real abstract. She's kind of come out with a different approach rather than the panel one where she does circles. And I thought, well, I'm going to try that. So I'm going to do that today. And one of the things I was going to do today, and I hadn't really thought about how I was going to do it, but in my Beast lately, I've been incorporating my own washi tape. Let me see if I can find a good sample of it. I liked last month's. Let me see. All right, here's a good page where that is actually a painting I had done, and then I copied it onto the washi sticker paper, and then cut it into 1/4-inch strips and put it, and I wanted to do that again. So that was kind of what made me decide my choice of colors today so I can match this month. Hi, Joyce Boring. I hope I haven't missed anybody coming in. Kat, did I say hi to you? I hope to God I did. Anyway, another thing, I sent Kat one of those Carrie Smith's books. So I think next week I'm going to get it out and I'm going to work in that. And I can't remember the name of it. Kat, you can put it in chat if you remember. But anyway, I thought I would go ahead and do that book because I sent it to Kat. So, and I sent her some stuff to use in it as well. So now the Art Salute Beginner on Instagram did big circles. And I thought, oh, I'm not sure if I want big circles, you know. So I don't know. I'm just going to kind of decide myself. But I'm going to do her circle kind of art. And I got to take this sweater off because I'm dying. You guys, I'm so excited. I'm getting my door tomorrow. Robert's been asking me, is he ever going to come put in the door? And I was like, I don't know. He's hard to get a hold of. He's really busy. And I think it's because he does such good work. But I don't want to bother the guy either. You know, like putting the door on is probably going to take, I don't know, less than an hour. And then painting it is going to take, you know, not much time either. So, but I'm excited about my door. You're swatching your new 50 count Crayola super tips. Yay. That's a good thing to do with your old markers. Yeah, let them wreck them. Okay, there it is. Kat just put it in. Carrie Smith Pocket Scavenger. And so it is truly like the scavenger hunt. And in fact, that may be where I got some of the ideas for the scavenger hunt. Okay, on this one, I want... Okay, if you guys observing that I have no flipping clue what I'm doing, that's because I have no flipping clue what I'm doing. Okay, just so we all know that I'm not kidding anybody here. All right, did I keep it close to the edge? No, I got it far over here. Let's see. That edge, I did good. This edge, I got to come in a little. Oh, that's where it's going because that's where the first mark went. Ah, what did I do? What did I just do? I might have to get out a second sheet of paper. All right, we're going to try and fix that goof up. We probably can. All right. I know better than to touch that one arm. But I'm also out of practice, so just saying. Don't hold the pencil tip, you pushed it. I know, Jane, I'm out of practice, but I'm learning. Girl, I'm learning. Again. All right, I think I'm going to do the next ring of this one, and I'm not going to make my rings as thick as Art Salute Beginner did. Okay, very good. Very, very good. So that'll be the outside of our first ring. See, it's this. I'm going to have to glue this shut. See, this arm gives. That's the only problem I would have with this tool at all. All right, and I'm not going to stream quite as long today because my neighbor that just sold her house wants to come over and bring me some supplies and stuff that she found in her house. I don't know what it is. Don't even know if I want it. But I told her, go ahead. Yeah, bring it over. And if it's not something I can use or mail, whatever, easily, I think I'm going to give it to either my grandkids or my nieces and nephews or something. So, but anyway, poor thing. She's been moving out of this enormous house, losing her mind. She told me her legs the other day were like spaghetti. She said, I can barely walk. So she said, I got to get this stuff out of my car. I said, okay, come today. So yeah, I'm not going to stream quite as long because I had to work around her schedule. And despite popular belief, I'm a nice person and I do try and work with people. So Terry, how long before you start one of these? I'm sure you've seen her most recent ones from August. And I can't believe it's September 1st, you guys. I got to call my brother today. It's his birthday. Hi, Nanamo. And believe it or not, now let me think. My first date with my husband was 44 years ago. 44 years ago today was my first date with my husband. That does not even seem possible, but I did it again. Oh, well, this is going to be a good practice one, obviously, but I do have a blue color. So I think I'll leave a big thing there and just do that blue. Yeah, I'm going to have to. I'm going to tape it right now because this is making me really mad. You're copying me, sort of. Okay, good. Good girl. I'm taping that bad boy. First date anniversary. Yeah, it was 44 years ago today. Doesn't seem possible. All right, altering tools during a stream. That's exciting. Why didn't I think to do this before? Check out that bad boy. That ain't going nowhere. Including, okay, good. You slipped your pen. Whew, I'm feeling better about my bad self. So, yeah. All right, I'll do a little bit narrower ring. God dang it. I definitely need practice. All right. And part of the problem is normally I leave the pen in place and I have it. I need to move the pen. No, I can't move the pen. Never mind. Bad idea. All right. We're just going to go with this. And if I get too fed up, which I'm about ready to do, see, it works better if I can move the paper. Oh my God, that one's horrible. It does leave a little tiny hole in the center, Shelly, but you don't even notice it. So don't fret about that. I don't. All right, now I'm taping the other arm too, because apparently it bends. And I'm sure that bendy has some purpose, but it has no purpose in my world. Good job, Shelly. Play with us. And if it comes out worth even half a darn, I will post this. I haven't posted on Instagram in forever. I just haven't felt like anything I've done is post worthy. So, plus I've been, I got started coloring in my Bible and it has become an addiction. Like if I don't get to sit down and color in my Bible for 30 minutes or so in the morning, I feel punished complete there. Now both arms are taped. So yeah, we can clean up most of those messes, so I'm not going to worry about it. Let me see where my biggest circle is. I'm going to try and keep the biggest circle circumference about the same. And Arts the Loop Beginner did 3 circles on hers, so maybe I could do 3, and that would leave me with probably 4 corners, right? If I move up a little bit. So let's see. There we go. And then I don't care if the bands inside are the same. I mean, I'm sure they'll all be somewhat similar, but I don't care if they're all the same or not. All right, I think fixing this tool maybe also fix my brain. Oh, you found it's drawing on the right side of your brain at a thrift store. That is one of the books I would highly recommend to anybody who wants to learn to draw better. It's by Betty Edwards, and she taught drawing courses. And her approach, I think, is so good. It won't necessarily make you draw better, but it will make you change the way you think about drawing. And that's why I always say anybody can draw. One of the things Betty says in that book is that everybody can draw. Most people will say, oh, I can't draw. I can't draw. And Betty Edwards says she knows everybody can learn to draw because you learn to write the alphabet. And probably that one statement of all the things I've read convinced me of that. None of us came into this world knowing how to write the alphabet. But it didn't take us long in 1st and 2nd grade before we figured out that we could draw symbols that meant something to somebody else. And I thought, you know what? That's probably the best thing I needed to hear about drawing, is that if I learn to write the alphabet, I can learn to make strokes that other people can interpret as something they recognize. And then I was just like, okay, I can draw now. Belinda, did I say hi to you? I hope I didn't miss anybody coming in. Belinda, Missy. Anyway, so I'm on, got that one. Go down one more. It's harder when you're making different size circles for sure. And then I did a bigger band there, I think. So we'll go with that. Okay, now this one's going to be the whole circle. If I can move this crazy thing. Just bear with me here. If you can't see it, I'm just moving this whole cutting mat. There we go. And this time I'm going to move the pen because it's just too big a headache not to. That makes it easier. There we go. All right. So because it's a holiday weekend, happy Labor Day, everybody. If you're off work, enjoy your day off. Labor Day weekend for me feels like an enormous pain in my butt because all the city people come. And it was busy this weekend. I kept hoping, the weather's supposed to be kind of crappy. They might stay home. We might have a football game. They might stay home. No, 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 no. Every one of them showed up and brought 100 people with them. So, yeah. All right, that's good because all right, I'll move this up just enough where it would intersect right there. Serendipity. But the cool thing about my life is they're all going home here in a little while. Yeah, baby. And I will not go out to the street and wave goodbye, even though that's really, oops, I just went over it. I won't go out and wave goodbye as they leave. So I've got a real nice, unless some of them decided to take more time, I've got a real nice quiet week coming up. Moving my lights and everything. Oh, another crazy thing I did this week. Y'all are going to be convinced that there's something seriously wrong with me. And there might be. The other day, I did a Walmart order to go in and pick up my groceries, which I am absolutely loving. I'm happy as hell. I just love Walmart now for having done that for me. And oops. But I went in and ordered all my stuff, and I thought I'd done a really good order. And the following day, when I was getting ready to go into town to pick it up, I thought, wow, it's weird. Walmart hasn't texted me to see if I wanted to add anything to my order, which they normally do. So I came into the computer where I placed the order and looked it up. And you guys, I had not placed the order at all, like zero, none, nada. Well, by then it was too late in the time frame I needed to go get it done. So I thought, okay, today I'm going to learn about Walmart delivery. And I had them deliver it directly to my house. Oh, you guys. Delivery. I didn't hit send, Jane. Hi, Sharon. And I'm kind of at the point in my life right now where I'm just going, oh, nothing surprises me anymore. That sounds like some dumbass thing I would do. So, yeah. So I thought, well, I guess it's time to learn about, I just tore the paper a little bit, to learn about Walmart delivery. You guys, Walmart delivery, better than Walmart pickup. I'm not kidding you. Oh, it was awesome. Look at that circle. That's like I could have drawn better than that, probably freehand. Anyway, so, but the girl came that night, 6:40 at night at my door. It was awesome. Brought my groceries right into my house. Well, not into the house. She put them on the stairs in my breezeway. Real nice girl. Came in a Mercedes. And it was awesome. It was awesome. So if you guys have delivery in your area, did I say hi, Joyce? Do it. Do it. You won't be sorry. It costs a little bit more, of course, because I didn't have to pay for the delivery, but I did have, they ask if you want to tip your driver. Well, obviously, I wanted to tip the driver. So but it's no different, in my opinion, than it was more convenient than going out to eat. And I tipped those people, and I tipped them generously. So, yeah, I was like, oh, I am living in hog heaven. Hog heaven, I'm telling you. It was awesome. Okay, so I'm going to use the Kiritaki Gansai Tambi. I don't even know how to pronounce that. So you've had deliveries. You haven't been in this store since 2018. Walmart's only 2.5 miles from your house. Well, my Walmart is probably, if I had to guess, I'm going to say it's about 25 miles. I never in a million years expected that we would get delivery of any kind out here. So I was tickled to death when it said, we now have delivery in your area. I was like, okay, I'm going to try that. So I did it in small steps. First pickup, and then I did the delivery, and it's awesome. Now this week, we have to go pick up some medicine for Robert. So I actually have to go in the store, but that'll be okay. I can do that. But I'm gonna like make myself. I might do a pickup order and just walk in and get the medicine, because I'm terrible about impulse shopping. I have stuff in my cupboards that I bought thinking, oh, it was such a great idea. It was a dumb idea then, and it's a dumb idea now. So I might do that. I might do a pickup, but I might walk in the store and just get the medicine. Okay, so let me see here how many colors. I picked out 4 initially. Let me just see. I'm going to do, she did the outside of the dark blue, and I'm going to do the same thing with the centers. So I need 1 color for that. All right, and I'm going to do 4 colors. And I'll repeat 1, maybe a different band in each of the circles. I don't know. We'll just see. But anyway, that's all the good stuff that's going on in my life. City people going home. Walmart delivers. And then I was yakking with my neighbor. She's had grandkids here most of the summer. Each family of grandkids gets to come for a week. So there's all ages, little, medium, bigger. And we were just yakking the other day, and I was telling her how stupid I am with my Walmart delivery, which she probably already knew. But anyway, she said her grandson had gotten DoorDash. Happy birthday, Sharon, 82. Good on you. Everybody say happy birthday to Sharon. And if you guys want, you can sing happy birthday in chat. Anyway, so the 4th blue in this one. She said her grandson, he was a teenager, and she said, oh yeah, the night before he left, he ran in her bedroom and he said, you know, it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock. He says, Grandma, can I order DoorDash? Because it's my last night here. And she was like, yeah. I didn't know they did DoorDash out here. You guys, I can get food delivered to my house. Not cooked food. I may never leave my house again. Ever, 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 ever. DoorDash comes to my house. And I said, well, what did he order? What restaurants do it? You know, and I don't even know the restaurants in town that well. And she said, oh, he just wanted some McDonald's. They drove the McDonald's all the way out here. Now, I don't know what DoorDash costs to get delivered. I think it's ridiculous even buying it at the store. And I would never order McDonald's delivered, because if it's not hot, it's not worth eating. Well, it's barely worth eating when it's hot. But anyway, yeah, so I can get DoorDash right to my house. Now I have to find a restaurant. Of course, I've never eaten at any of them, so I don't know if their food's good or not. All right, with this, should we do this green or the Viridian green? Let's do the lighter green. So yeah. And I'm sure anybody living in a city who has had all this stuff forever probably thinks, you poor thing. What century have you been living in? When I say I live out in the middle of nowhere, I am like so not kidding you. There's a excuse me, there's a resort nearby. You know, like if I want to go out and spend exorbitant amounts of money to eat at a restaurant that doesn't have that great of food anyway, I can always go over to the resort. But yeah, I know this is like, I'm just flabbergasted that people get to do this sort of thing in real life. We don't have Chick-fil-A either. My Chick-fil-A is like 50 miles away. Well, probably more than 50 miles. It's 50 miles to the edge of Joplin, and I think probably 4 miles further than that to get to Chick-fil-A. So, and I have to say, it is popular. Every time we go to Joplin, I think, oh, we'll stop and get some Chick-fil-A. I drive by the place, and the line is so long. I'm like, what was I thinking? I don't necessarily want Chick-fil-A that bad. All right, so I was thinking a lighter blue. Let's go with the cobalt. I think this will be pretty. And I'm doing this mostly to put it in my beast, you guys. That's exactly why I'm doing this. And I guess I could have gotten this paint ready beforehand, but why not? You guys that are painting along have to do this anyway. So, yeah. But now the thing is, because Memorial Day is always opening weekend at the lake, Labor Day is always closing weekend. So because college football is started now and we have OU and OSU, where most of the people who come for the weekend have season tickets, so they won't be coming anymore. Of course, the weather is not going to be, I think fall here is beautiful, but the weather's not going to be as nice, obviously, and they're not going to be able to get out on the lake that much longer. So pretty soon it will be like a serious ghost town around here. We just got a Chick-fil-A, and now that I've started eating chicken, I'll have to try. Oh, you just started eating chicken? What do you eat if you don't eat chicken? Chicken's probably my favorite food. All right, we're going to start with 4. We're going to keep the paint nearby, so if we need more, we'll get more. But those are our colors, blues and 1 purple. Hi, Alyssa. So, yep. Let's just paint these out real quick and see if their strength is kind of what I had in mind. I did want the dark blue pretty dark, so I'm not going to water that one down. And these Kuretake, Gansai Tambi, whatever, Tambi, paints, they're really nice, and they get kind of a sheen to them. So, oh, that's pretty. I like those colors. Okay, that's what we're going with. And then when I finish painting this and let it dry, I will copy it onto, oops, it's got water on it. Copy it onto the washi sticker paper and cut it into 1/4 inch strips and put it in my beast. We'll see how many of these errors I can fix. But knowing how I'm going to use it in the end, if there's a piece of the painting that has something I just can't handle in it, I just won't use that piece in my beast. And other than that, yeah, nothing else going on around here. We're just dumbing through life most days. And look at me, I'm such a dumbass, okay? First of all, just let's acknowledge that I'm a dumbass. Um, MK just walked in the room. Hi, MK. Let me introduce myself. I'm a dumbass. Hi, me. I painted this before I painted this, so now I've got to worry about getting my hand in the wet paint. I do that a lot. So yeah. Hi, MK. Just abstract watercolor here, because we can. And I'm going to be working kind of fast because I'm not going to be on as long today. Now, Art Salute Beginner used her metallic gold, and I am going to use metallic gold on this, but I'm not going to use it for one of the bands, I don't think. But I may use it to cover up some of my screw-ups, partly because the gold metallic does not photocopy well. I do know that. Now, maybe on Dee Dee's printer, but not on my printer. It comes out a pretty color, but there's just no metallic to it. I do like the printer, though, and I'm not unhappy that I spent the money. But I won't use mine as often as Dee Dee does. Okay, and I'm wondering, before this dries, while it's still real wet, if I don't want to add some water and get some different effects in here. I hadn't really thought about that, but it's time to think about it. I think I will. I think I won't do it in the centers, but I will around the edges. So let's go ahead and introduce some water here. This has dried somewhat, so we'll just let it do whatever it's going to do. Looks like target practice, doesn't it? Doesn't look like it's going to do anything. And that's fine too. Dee Dee, I was talking to Dee Dee, and I said, I don't know what I want to do today. And she said, oh, work out of the Soldo design books, which made me think, yeah, that's true, Devin. I could add the gold back. Whose face would you put in the bullseye? Oh, Nana Mo. That is a seriously loaded question. There was a time in my life I would have said my brother, but I like him now. Whose face? Probably, I don't know. I can't think of anybody that's not political that I would put in there. Okay, I'll just say some random troll. I think trolls on the internet are hideous people. Or the person who hijacked my email. Don't shoot. I wouldn't, me. Because I have a faith that someday I get to meet my maker. And I don't want to have to explain. Well, I'm going to already have to explain certain crappy behavior just from having lived so damn long. But yeah, I don't want to have to explain that. That would be really, really hard. But yeah, whoever hacked my email and sent you guys that email about that I was in the hospital, I don't know how many of you got it. If I had your email in my contact, you probably got it. But anyway, that was very annoying. And I wasn't sure which email account, because I have two, they had hacked into. Well, I finally figured it out. But my brother was calling me. Everybody was calling me about, yeah, whether or not I'd broken a rib or a fibia or whatever they were telling, because different people had different body parts that had been harmed. So yeah, that would be the person. Like, go get a job. Quit ripping off people. Those are the kind of jerks that hack me off. Go get a job. Scammers. Yeah, I would do a random scammer in the bullseye. Thanks for asking the question. Getting hacked is not... Oh, hi, Dorothy, you're here. You did get the email then, Dorothy. Well, there you go. It was worrisome rather than annoying. Well, it was annoying for me. Of course, I got to talk to people that I don't normally talk to daily, but it was annoying to me because it was scamming people who I consider to be colleagues, friends, whatever, family members. It's just like, well, yeah, now you're attacking my people. And now you pissed me off. You went too far. That's what will get me hitting. All right. Let's see if we can get this water here moving. I don't know if I care about this, but I just know that when it dries and you can get a good picture of it, it makes really good effects. So that's why I'm kind of wanting to encourage this a little bit. I just like the way it looks. See, and that one's not going to move because the paint around it has already dried, but we're going to make it move whether it wants to or not. Come on, there you go. That's what we're talking about. Get down there. There you go. All right. Now we'll just let that dry however it wants. The first look, you put a giant hole in the center. Oh no, read it twice and ignored it because it was not the sort of thing you would have sent. Just worried. Worded all wrong, but forgot to tell you. So you got one too, Terry. Oh my God. See, and my brother was just like, I knew it wasn't you, because if you hurt yourself, I'd be the first person you call. And it's like, yeah, you're right. You would be the first person I called. So, but was he the first one to tell me? No, somebody else texted me or something and said, I got this email from you. All right. So because the my September pages in the Beast, I just set the Beast up yesterday. So I can show you an empty page in the Beast. Is that color. I did it kind of a light purpley kind of color. So that purple should work well with that. So that's why I chose that. But I looked up online what to do if you've been hacked. And they said to contact the FTC. And I thought, oh, nothing's going to happen with that. I mean, I just didn't expect anything. But I went ahead and I reported it to the FTC and gave them all the information they requested. And that was fine. I didn't mind doing that. It was pretty painless. And I thought, well, that's the end of that. I got a message back. I don't know. It was fast, in my opinion, like 3 or 4 days later. And they had actually looked into all the activity on my account. And they had deleted. So apparently it had been attempted more than once. They they had it deleted. I believe it was like 3 or 4 different emails that had actually accessed that account. So I was really surprised. One, that they actually did do something surprising, and that it wasn't the first time it had been attempted. So I ended up pretty happy over it. I really was, that they actually did something, which I honest to God didn't think that they would, but they did. And of course, I went in immediately and changed passwords and stuff like that. I did it on both accounts because I didn't know. But yeah, those people are they're scum of the earth. I'm sorry, they're scum of the earth. And speaking of scum of the earth, if you're on Twitter, you saw this weekend where some guy who owns a company out of Poland was at a baseball game. No, it wasn't a baseball game. Anyway, one of the players had gone over and given this kid a cap, just handed it to him. And this business owner grabbed it out of the kid's hand. And it was on Twitter all weekend. What a scumbag, So then people figured out who he was, and of course made him famous, whether he wanted to be or not, about what a scumbag he was, stealing this cap from this kid. And the player who had given the kid the cap got a hold of him and gave him another cap. I mean, met him in person and gave him another cap, which I thought he's a jam up guy, man. He's cool. I like him. Then the dumbass business owner out of Poland, don't know the guy's name, don't know the business. I mean, it was just all over Twitter, and so I happened to see it. Oh, believe me, Jane, public shaming is enormously useful. Anyway, this dumbass guy wrote a memo implying that somehow he had been the victim, that you're attacking his company. Are you kidding me, you dope? So he could have just said, that was a really crappy thing to do. I'm going to give the kid the hat back and send him $10 million. I don't know what would be a reasonable solution for being a douchebag, sorry, on camera, but he was. And, but he came out saying, things happen in life, get over it. You're attacking my company. Like somehow now he's the victim? Are you kidding me? What is wrong with people? He needed to give you're so ashamed me. Don't take it personal, girl. But it's just like, really? You would steal from a kid and then defend yourself? That is unbelievable. And throwing in, I don't know, maybe a check for 10 grand wouldn't have hurt him. Just some sort of penance. I don't know. Stuff like that gets me going. Especially for a kid, Who knows if that kid had ever been able to get to it. It wasn't baseball. It was something else. World Cup. I don't know. But anyway, it wasn't a game I watched anyway. Yeah, like, give me a break. I'm sure if you go out on the internet and search, you can find it. Okay, now I'm going to use this same purple 2 different times on different, it won't be the same pattern every time, right? Right, Jane? Imagine what he would do. See, that's it too, Judy. What I think is, what would you do if you weren't being filmed? What kind of scumbag would you be then? And he probably didn't even know he was being filmed, honestly. But yeah, you'll do that in public? Wow, what do you do behind closed door? And if you steal from a kid, will you steal from your customers? Question I have. I think they're the kind of questions you need to ask yourself. I think anybody who will say, I'm willing to steal from a kid, probably ought to check themselves. Especially something as stupid as a ball cap. But anyway, the player did end up meeting the kid, got him another cap, and I think a whole bunch of other stuff. So the player went out of his way to make up for it, you know, for the other guy. So all's well that ends well. But yeah. And the player will come out better for having done it, you know. I'm sure people who follow the sport will know his name and the team and all that. I didn't know anything about it. Not surprising. I don't do sports much. The Captain America's shield, right? All right, so I did that one on that one, so I can come out and do the second one here. Yeah, I just touched the wet paint. Try not to touch the wet paint. That's my free lesson advice for you today. Try not to touch the wet paint. And I've only been here an hour, so we're doing pretty good on time, given that I think I'm going to end early today. And I need to hit this with a heat gun, so the potential for putting my hand in the paint is diminished. And I haven't made the journal yet with the butt cover that Kathy Berg sent, but it's still sitting here waiting for me to get motivated. Part of my problem with motivation is, oh, you guys, do any of you play games on your phone? I only play a couple. I like word games, like I do the New York Times puzzles. So, too late, I touched it. But in the evenings, I like to go in and play like Wordle, crossword puzzles, Sudoku, connections. They've got like 4 different puzzles. There's more on there. I only play like 4 of them, though. I love Wordle. It's like a little challenge with myself. And the neighbor across the street got me doing that. But anyway, somewhere on the internet, I got an advertisement for a card game called Canasta. And I've heard about Canasta. My mother played Canasta. I never played Canasta, didn't know anything about it. But I'd heard about it, Canasta, all my life, okay? It always sounded intriguing. And anybody who played Canasta loved Canasta, okay? So I got an ad to play Canasta on your phone. Well, like a dumbass, I downloaded it. So I did that. Okay. So now I don't want to do the outside one because I don't want to touch there. That one I already did there. That one I did there. And that one I did there. Okay, so now I have to come up with a different combination. You used to play it? I heard about Canasta all my life too. Must be a Canadian thing. Thanks, Ellen. Hi, by the way. I don't know. My mother was from Iowa, and they played, groups of women used to get together and play canasta and then change groups and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, so I got an ad for it, so I downloaded it and started playing it. And the rules are, Dorothy's played it. Nope, I do not play games. I like watching live trials, live from the US. Cool. Me, that sounds interesting. But anyway, I downloaded Canasta. All right. I wasn't going to do those colored, but now I guess I am. And I have to say, I'm loving that stupid game. I like it when I'm winning. I don't like it when I'm losing. And it's really just, and you're playing against a computer. I think I'd really prefer to play it in real life, where you're dealing actual cards, because I can kind of see a pattern of cards from the computer. I don't think they have a random card generator, because sometimes it's like, that's too predictable. That's nonsense. Of course, that's easy for me to say. But I have to say, I have wasted far too much time playing canasta on my phone this last week. The only other card game I really like on the phone is Spades. And we had a group of women here on the island that used to play spades, and I didn't want to get into anything regular. Like I said, don't put me on your regular schedule, but if you need somebody to come and fill in, I'll come fill in. And it was the women who played all just got together so they could eat and drink. And I'm not a drinker, so after a certain time in the evening, as the drinks were flowing, to me it became a whole lot not fun. I love spades too, Kat. But they always had good food there, I have to say. Like, if you went and played spades, you ate really, really good. And I did find a spades game online that is pretty fun. But I have to say, I have wasted far too much time playing canasta this week. You played canasta when you were young. Yeah, you just collect up the same number of cards. Say you're collecting all fours, or just put my hand in there. You guys, when I say I'm a dumbass, I am not kidding. I used to play Wordscapes on the phone. Yeah, I like any kind of word game that makes you think. All right, I think I'm going to do that one. And I'll just repaint that where I put my hand in it. But yeah, any kind of word game. I like any kind of word game. And Wordle is fun because you get, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 attempts to guess the word, and it's a 5-letter word. And so it's important that you start out with a really good word to get as many of the letters as possible. I do pretty good at it. I have to say, I'm far smarter than I probably would have given myself credit for. If it's smart, I don't know. But Wordle is a fun game. I've always liked puzzles. So did my mother. That was the one thing Mother and I had in common. We would sit and we'd buy word search, those word search puzzle game books. We'd buy 2 of those, the exact same, and then we would race each other to see who could finish a puzzle faster. I'm painting this so weird because I'm looking for the place where I can set my hand where I'm not going to be in wet paint, and I'm running out of spaces, you guys, just saying. My problem with games on the computer, or really anywhere, is I get bored pretty quick with them. Like, if they're predictable, like canasta, I can see myself playing canasta for another week or so until the game itself makes me mad because it's too predictable. And I know there are programming limitations, you know, like I get that. But when I can outsmart their programming, it becomes very not fun for me anymore. That's why Wordscape and some of those just, I lost interest pretty quick. You're playing Color Block Jam, which is a timed puzzle. I haven't even ever seen that. But I don't go out in search of these things either. They generally find me. That looks really blotchy and I don't like it. Of course, it's going to be cut up, so I don't really care. And I am going to put some little bit of doodles on top of this. It's not just going to be this. All right, let's put the cobalt blue. I didn't get very much of that paint out, so let's do cobalt blue here. And I think our Absolute Beginner actually left a couple of her circles plain white and then just doodled in them. But because it's going in the beast, I thought, I don't know if I want to do that. I might be sorry. We'll find out. At the end of the day, it's a piece of paper with some paint on it. You can't get too attached. Know what I mean? All right. You know what? All right. Let's just do something different on that one. Take a dirty old napkin and texturize it. How about that? That's kind of cool. I'll probably do that for that whole light blue. Yep. I'm going to paint this one really wet so that it'll stay wet long enough for me to come back in and texturize it. I'm trying to stay pretty tidy here, but I always know I can go back in and clean up with gold if I need to, because that gold will pretty much cover any of my goof ups. I'm going to do the texture on this right now while it's still pretty wet. And this is just a number 6 round brush, if I didn't say so earlier. I should be moving the napkin around a little bit so I'm not transferring the paint other places, but I'm liking that texture, so that's a good thing. Now I'm not sure how that's going to copy. Be another big fat boy experiment here. I did go over in that red, which I'm not really happy about, but let's see if I can pick that up a little bit. Got it. You do the circles identical. Don't worry about it, Shelly. Go ahead and just go do it. All right, so did I end up doing 1, 2, 3? No, they're the same. Huh. All right, well. I guess that one ended up with one extra because I did the one of the narrow circles, which is fine. So it looks like I have an uneven number there, but I don't. I have the exact same. Maybe I'll just leave one white and draw on it, and that'll tell me how it'll copy and how it'll look, since it's a big old fat boy experiment anyway. And then after I cut it into washi tape, I'll just have to show you guys next week after I put it in the Beast. How the washi turns out, because that's really what I'm looking for. And it's crazy that I'm sitting here making my own washi tape when I have gobs of it in a cabinet. Ooh. My brain. I let that dry a little bit more than I should have. Oh, well. Oh, well. Oh, well, oh, well. All right, let's move over here where I have more dry area. Yeah, I should be able to. Work over here. Okay. I hope this was a good color choice. This was the one I was kind of iffy about. I kind of feel like I want to put some blue in this green area, so maybe when I doodle in it, I'll doodle with the blue. Crazy colors. Clint Eastwood is 95 today. Wow. Good on him, you know? $95, that's quite a, oops, that was not good. That's quite a milestone. I haven't heard much about him. I did hear that Bruce Willis, which I also really like Bruce Willis ever since Moonlighting. I just like Bruce Willis, but they put him in a nursing home this week, and that made me sad. Now, one nice thing, Terry, did you buy those Langwo pens? Just curious, because I think I'm going to, I was just thinking about what blue to use on this green. Do I want to use a watercolor or something different? One nice thing, and I haven't done this since I got those pens, I have not written on watercolor with the Langwo pens, so this will be a good test. I'll pick out a blue. Yeah, I'm thinking I should do those thinner lines, probably gold or something. Maybe I'll choose one of them to do with dark blue, maybe on this one. Hang on, Terry, I'll look for your answer in just a second. Dee Dee and I sold those pens pretty hard. You didn't get him? Yeah, you love him too? Yeah, I like Bruce Willis. It is, Belinda. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this in the Beast. I really am. So, and the thing is, again, if it doesn't work out, I haven't really, other than whatever the cost of the paper was, I don't have anything really that much invested in it. So if it ends up in a trash can, oh well, lesson learned. But you don't learn if you don't try. So, yeah, might as well just try. Yeah, I think I'm going to add some of that darker blue in the circles too. I don't know. I use those Langwo pens virtually every day. I've used them a lot in my Bible coloring for the lettering, because I don't know if it's acrylic gel. I don't know what the actual makeup of the product is, but I can see through the paper. Maybe I'll pull out my Bible so you can see. You can see through the paper, but it doesn't bleed through. It just sits on top of the paper, which makes it perfect for the Bible journaling. And I'm really loving that. And I can get into really small areas very easily. So yeah, I'm loving it a lot. Their one product this green I have totally turned into a mess. We'll do our best to fix it though. Yeah, I'm really happy with those pens. So I'm thinking. Let's go ahead and I still have plenty of the dark blue. I think I'll do a dark blue ring in here, because I can. Still trying to decide. I wasn't going to do the gold, but the more I play with this, the more I'm thinking, I think I'd like that gold. And I haven't used it in forever. I think gold is going to be introduced, and the copier will just have to deal with it. Can't hardly see what I'm painting over there. By introducing the gold, I'm introducing a way to fix a lot of objectionable things on this. So maybe that's my motivation. But by introducing that, I know I'm probably not going to get this done, which is fine. I'll post it on IG when I'm done. Maybe next time too, if there is a next time, I'll leave some of the areas white too, because that was one of the things in Art Salute Beginner's piece that I did actually like, but I just didn't think I would like it in the Beast. Hi, Jackie. Anybody else who came in? Hi, Christina. You could paint the gold on after you make your cut. Yeah, that's what Devin was saying too, Belinda, and I could, but I don't know, probably just put it on here and copy it and call it a day. Remember, the Beast is just kind of like a playground for me. Yeah. All right, I'm going to hit this with a heat gun real quick, and then I'm going to clean up some of the things that I think are gross. That's probably dry enough that I won't be transferring color anyway. Oh, hot diggity dog. That's still wet in there. Hot diggity dog. I showed this a long time ago. I honestly had forgotten about it. Starla sent me this fine liner for the gold ink. And honestly, I had forgotten about it. Oh, man, now I'm psyched. All right, let's get this bad boy cooking. See, I don't trust myself necessarily. All right, still flowing very nicely, and it's been a month since I even touched this. Ooh, baby. And you can buy these fine liner bottles on the internet. I think you can walk into Hobby Lobby and find them actually. All right, let's. All right. Oh, this is unnerving, but I'm going to go ahead and right here. Get this bad boy flowing a little bit. Starla, if you watch this later, thank you. I have to squeeze it off to get it flowing pretty good. But then I can you guys even see that? I don't think you can. Trust me. It's not as smooth as I would like, but when it's cut into strips, it's going to be awesome. For the thicker lines, I'll go ahead and use my ruling pen. But for this one, just to clean up my screw up, perfect. Another thing I can do with this, and I will use more ink, but that's okay because you can always buy more ink. That's my approach. Oh, you can see it? Okay. It fixed up that screw up right there. So, yeah. Worth its weight in gold right now. And I'm not being really, really careful, but yeah, it's working just fine. But I will get the ruling pen out for the bigger areas, I think. Cleaned up my mess perfectly. All right, and I think well, since this is already wet over here, let me go ahead and see. I'll do one right in the center. Now these will stay wet a little bit longer. But it's a great little way to make dots. And I could be using my dot tool, I know that. But that's okay. I'm just glad I get to use it. I had honestly forgotten about it. I haven't been in that drawer in a month. Hi, K-Berg. Thank you, Kat. Kat, you are the best mod on the planet. Says the worst mod on the planet. Yeah, baby. But I recognize a good one when I see it. All right. Now, the reason I wanted the watermarks is because I like, I think I'll use a white pen for that. So I think I'll be consistent with the dots in the center. And Art Salute Beginner actually had dots in hers as well. Hers were bigger and not as perfect, but by design. Okay, I'm not finding fault with her work. I actually love her work. But I think I'll keep that consistent, which means I'm going to have to be really careful where I put my hands now because, yeah, that's all I need is to go in there and smudge that up. Then I'll have to make up something else. And some of those circles, like in there where the green, which was a more opaque paint, kind of obliterated the black line. I will go in there after this thing is completely dry and try and clean some of that up. But I'm not going to worry about it too much because when it's cut up, you're not even going to notice that. Let me get out my white pen and see if I can. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to go get new eyeglasses or go get my eyes tested. There we go. Have you ever used the gold paint that comes in the Kuretake set? Thinking I might try it. Shelly, I don't. Hi, Jolu. I'm not sure that I know what you're talking about in the gold set. Was it watercolor? This is mica gold ink. The consistency of ink is going to be way different than, say, a watercolor. I have some gold watercolor paint, which I love, and it does look metallic, but it's not as opaque and as brilliant as this. This gold paint, honestly, is, I've never seen or tried anything like it. So if you want something very opaque, I would just say spend the money and get the mica gold. It's inexpensive. Gold colors in the Kuretake 48 set. Okay, I have the 48 set right here. Oh no. I think this is what Shelly's talking about. Okay, and I did put the black lines on there so you could see how opaque the watercolors were. There's a white gold, a bluish gold, and then just the gold. No, they're not going to behave anything like this. It's a whole different, yeah, that's a whole different animal. And you'll never sell me on anything other than this. This to me is just amazeballs. Yeah, paint is not especially watercolor. Watercolor is kind of it's its own medium completely. You can't compare it. You have the gold mica, yeah, it's just the best gold. And I don't have the silver, but I sent Dee Dee the silver. My guess is any of the Kuretake. Now, see, this is another Kuretake product. Kuretake products are just superior, in my opinion. You can get other things that might be close, but nothing is as good as a Kuretake. I'm just saying. All right. Let's see. Okay, another thing I think I'll do while I've got this little bad boy out and I'm all being in love with it. I'm just egging it on over there on the edge. Let's see how small a dot I can get. Having a hard time seeing. You guys are going to have a harder time seeing than I am. I don't want big blobs of paint. That probably won't even photocopy, to be honest. Oh, now I'm making better dots. Not doing better placement of the dots, but doing better dots. I got too much stuff here. Now I have to be really careful, remember. Yeah, got some big ones there. That's okay. I got to remember this is going to be cut up. Of course, I'm going to photograph it full size for Instagram. But I probably should wait until after I make the photocopy so you can see the difference in the color? I think I will. I'll wait and photograph it until after I've made the copy so I can post both the copy and the original so you can see how the color, and I know this happens, so I'm okay with it. How the colors get diffused in the photocopy on the washi paper. Now, if I bought the photo paper that Dee Dee uses for stickers and stuff, I wouldn't have that issue. But on the washi sticker paper, it does look very muted. But I'm cool with that. I'm cool, cool, cool. Christina has a question. Ask away, Christina. Do y'all know what ruling pen she uses? I need to get one. They're very inexpensive on Amazon, and I will show you. I don't know that I have a name brand. I just successfully put that on again, so I'm really proud of myself. I've had the one I like the best forever and ever, but you can get them. I'll show you one that you can get on Amazon now. Okay, this is my favorite one that I've had forever and ever. It does not have a name on it, so I can't give you a name brand of it. But in any drafting department, you should be able to find that, and it is called a ruling pen. These are the ones you get at Amazon now. They're not horribly different, but I think I like this one because it's longer and more narrow, and I have more practice with it. But Tina said she got one and she loves it too. So, yeah, I would just, and they're like $7. They're very reasonable. Most of the drafting supplies on Amazon, I think, are incredibly reasonably priced. I'm shocked all the time. How can they sell that for that? Okay, now I have a problem. All right, I am going to do, well, I'll go ahead and use the ruling pen. You do want to shake this. I don't know why with that. I just think the mica probably floats to the bottom, so you want to get it stirred up real good. Or you just want air bubbles in it. I don't know which. All right, and I'm choosing to do this gold because I did that screw up right there where you can see. I could probably go over that with a white pen, you guys. I probably could, but I think I'm going to go ahead and do it with a ruling pen, only I'm freaking out about where I'm going to put my hand so I don't goof everything up. Right here is where I'm going to do it. And I will outline this in black, so if it's not perfect, I don't worry about that because I'll go back with a real fine line 0.03 black ink pen, and you can hide a lot of things, you know. I think fall is officially here, you guys. September 1st. Isn't that where you kind of think officially fall? When I was a kid, September 1st was when we went back to school. Now kids are going back to school so early that, yeah, they don't have to wait until what I consider to be fall. But we always went back September 1st, or a day very close to September 1st. And the beauty of this ruling pen is it holds ink really well. Now this ink does dry quickly, so you kind of have to work fast, and you'll have to wash your pen frequently, but no big deal. When the ink starts flowing is when you know you need to give it a wash. Or you ran out of ink. Duh. I'm trying to decide what I want to do in that green. I think I'm going to take a dark blue Languo pen. I'm going to hit this with a heat gun next. And work on that so I can get an idea of how the Languo pens are going to work on it. I don't remember where we found out about this mica gold, but whoever introduced it, I should send you checks. And I'm getting a new door tomorrow. Yay! I just remembered. I'm so excited. It's the same door that's up there. It's not like I'm getting something that truly is brand new. I just picked out the exact same door, just metal. So, yeah. All right, let me hit this with a heat gun because the dots are drying. I am going to make them dry quicker, so they're probably not going to look as cool, but that's okay. We don't have time for this stuff. They get a little wrinkly on the top. Yeah, see, I just screwed that one up, but that's okay. They're not completely dry, but I don't want to spend all my time doing that. Okay. I keep my Languo pens right here. And I'm trying to kind of show you how I'm going to finish this. I'll only work on like this circle right now. And I don't have, believe it or not, I have not swatched out except in the Beast. But I have not swatched out a card right here so that I can identify which are which. And the color swatches they gave me are ridiculous. Okay, that's a good, nice dark blue. That's a really pretty dark blue. Okay. And Kat just put in the link for the Languo pens. If you haven't seen them, go check them out. They're awesome. Why a new door then? The one I had, Jane, was wooden, and I live on a hill, so when it rains or anything, the rain comes down, and the door had soaked up some of that water and expanded. And the other, well, I say the other day, it's been a couple months ago, the door after a rain had swollen up and it was sticking in the jamb, and Robert kicked it and he kicked a hole in it. Now it's the breezeway door, so it's not the door into the house, it's the door to get into the breezeway. But yeah, Robert kicked a hole in the door. So yeah. All right. Now I'm nervous because this is the deal. I'm just going to draw well, I'll have to go over that. Probably won't be the only time I do it. I drew up onto the gold, which is fine. Easily fixed. Now, if I was as anal as you guys all think I am, I would have measured that and made sure that the distances were all the same. But I'm just not that anal yet. If I was sitting here by myself, I probably would be that anal. I'd get my little protractor out and give myself marks. But this will be fine. And I have to remember, this is washi tape to go in the beast, honestly. Today is the first day of autumn. I figured it had to be getting very close. The pen is working awesomely. And I should be, I think, drawing away from myself, but let's just do it this way. I probably will repeat this line, you know, just the lines in the green on all the green areas to break up that green. I like the green, but I think it's just too in your face or something. They look perfectly spaced. Yeah, I'm not sure, Kat, but thank you. They're not horrible, you know, but it's doodles. I mean, it's literally doodles. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys. You guys have always known Robert had a man cave and a computer, TV, couch, recliner. I mean, he's got a real man cave down there. And every morning, about every morning, I go down and set him up listening to his music. And I gave him a typography color book because he liked to doodle. And I gave him a brand new 36 set of Prismacolor pencils and his own typography color book. And when I went down this morning, he had the book out and he had actually been doodling in it, you guys. So remember my plan to get Robert doing something like that? I think it's working. Okay, the official calendar. Okay, so it's the 22nd of September. That sounds about right. Yeah, it's usually 21st to the 23rd. Okay, and then I'm going to try to get this pen. I'll coax this pen to work. Now, there's two ways I can go here. I like the gold dots. Let me see if I can get the whole thing on camera. Get it very close. I could repeat the gold dots in the corners in all the dark blue areas except this one. Or let's do it down in this corner. Now this, I didn't put any water in this, so creating the lines is as much in my head as it is in the paint, but that's okay. Oh, now see, I like that. Today is the first day of the meteorological fall. For the rest of it, I don't know. I don't even know. Thanks, Kat. Kat put in another link for the white pens. I don't know if they're these exact white pens, but I like that. All right, we're going with that rather than the gold dots. That's what we're doing. And I'll finish off the ends with some black ink when I go in later with the black ink. And for these white lines, okay, now this is just my opinion, but for these white lines to be successful, the more wiggle they have, the better off they are. The cooler they look, in my opinion. All right, and that's the tape, so I don't have to go any further than that. Okay, so that's how I'll go ahead and finish off the edges. And I think I'll like that a lot, a lot, a lot. This is green. The colors in this thing is so goofy. So oh man, that's a goof up. Don't mess up because, well, wait a minute. I might be able to wipe it off. Don't know. That might just be a screw up. If you go over this Languo pens and they're still wet, you will pick up the ink. You're better off to just leave it, let it dry, and come back later. It's hard to start and stop at the exact right place. I will say that. I will try and fix that where I started and it goofed up. I might be able to go over that after it's dry with one of the green colors and see if I can't fix it. That one right there. I'll hit it with a heat gun here in a minute and we'll see. But I'll bet you I'll be able to fix it so it won't be noticeable anyway. And when I'm doing this kind of doodle stuff, I typically like to repeat a doodle or a pattern multiple times. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and include this blue line in all the green areas. And I probably will include some more dots, but in a different color, either white dots, probably in the purple color. So I'll repeat the dots, I'll repeat the lines. I think it looks good that way. And then the white areas, I will go back with a Posca or acrylic or something like that and clean up those white areas. And I'm trying to think if I've used Posca on top of these Languo pens, but my guess is that they will lift the color. So if you're going to do that, you're going to have to be really, really careful. And in fact, probably the safest thing to do if you're going to do that is spray with a fixative before you go in and work on top of it. You're going to have to set it somehow, would be my guess. And that would be the way, I think, to solve that. Just to go ahead and set it with a fixative and then go back in and work on top of it. Hey, Raul. Thanks, Nanamo. I think it'll make cool washi, and that was kind of my goal. I think most of my gold dots now are dry enough that I can set my hand on them. I'll do a little experiment here with white Posca on top of these Langlo, and we'll figure it out. But I'm going to say that it's going to move. I hope I'm wrong, but I just think it's going to move. Just saying. And on top of watercolor, well, at least this Kuretake that has the kind of sheen to it, barely any pressure. The ink just flows. So if you push, you'll spread the ink. But if you just barely touch, all right, since we're doing this, let's go ahead and just do this one while we're at it. See, now I goofed up again. Bad Merle. Excuse me. And again, the edges of this green circle were so gnarly. I'll go back in with a black pen and fix them. Sometimes you just got to clean up after yourself because you're a mess. And maybe after I'm done doing this, it won't even, like I've noticed a couple of places, it's not even noticeable now, so I might not have to do anything. Normally I do these light enough so that I can use black ink on them as well. I did not on this one. This is not necessarily Zentangle, Cindy. Are you not familiar with Zentangle? I can show you some. I just call this doodling. It's just repetitive stuff, mindless. Zentangle, I don't think is necessarily mindless. Well, they say that you should be meditating. I'm not good at meditating. But Zentangle is repetitive patterns, but they're far more intricate than, in my opinion, a doodle, that's why I call this doodle. Dots and squiggly lines and straight lines, that's more doodling to me. But I can show you some very cool Zentangle if you want. And if you don't know, look it up on the computer because there are some amazing Zentangle artists out there, especially on Instagram. I found some really good ones on Instagram. I just don't Zentangle as much as I used to. I still love it, and I still love the way it looks. I just don't do it as much. One, on stream, I don't think it's as much fun for you guys to watch. But this is boring as hell too, so who cares? Now, in there, if I wanted to now, I could go in and add dots of white or whatever, but I think I'm going to, let me see. I have them. I just don't have them out. But these two paint pens that I've used forever have just about, in fact, maybe I want to do it before I start it because, show it. You want to see the Zentangle box? Okay, hang on. I'm grabbing it, Raul. I'll pull both of them because I have an extra one. Dee Dee makes me show this all the time. It is a very cool thing, I will say that. But this is more Zentangle, Cindy. They're more intricate patterns. And with shading, they start looking really, yeah. Thanks, Kat. She put in Zentangle. Oh, no, Kat, put in Tangle, excuse me, tanglepatterns.com. That's the website that you can get a ton of these designs from. And the tanglepatterns.com gives you step outs for any of them on there. So you can just, okay, here's a Zentangle called Mr. E, which I love. And then the step out for Mr. E is like that. So it shows you how to draw. And then there's different variations of the same tangle. So this is Zentangle, where you do a lot more intricate. And I've not really done Zentangle on the abstract watercolors. But I don't think I've shown this box. I've been keeping a secret, Dee Dee. This is another box that I made. Empty. It's got the measurements in there, how to make it. But this is another box just because I was in the mood to make a box, I guess. Too fun, huh? But that is Zentangle. And that's a huge, huge community. I mean, if you delve into the Zentangle community, you'll be gone for a long time. So, yeah, thank you, Kat. You rascal. I am a rascal, aren't I? Rascal is practically my middle name. So yeah, go look at Zentangle. It's fun. If you like doodling, if you like, yeah, repetitive patterns or just doing something mindless. After you learn the patterns, it's Darla does rock. Devin, we cannot say enough good about her. I swear to God, that girl, she'll kill it every time. So I'm going to repeat the polka dot, but I'm not going to repeat the size of the polka dot. I'll leave the big ones. And then if I'm going to introduce another one, like this one, I'll just do small little circles. But this paint pen has about seen its last happy days. I should just throw it away, go get a new one. In my cabinet. It's not like I have to go to Hobby Lobby. It's in my cabinet already. I'm really dopey that way. I think I have some of those Artistro ones left too. But I do have other Poscas in lots of different colors. But I'm tickled to know that those Languo pens are going to work well. Oops, I need to wipe his little nose here. He was getting a little blobby there. Let's go, pen. Now it's not wanting to work with me. That'll get me pissed off here in a minute. But I would, in your Society of Idea Collector books, I would have a section for doodling or tangling or something where when you see a design that you particularly like, or you don't trust your memory, which is my problem, that you have a place to collect that stuff. And then when you get enough, you can build a box or whatever. You're not familiar? Well, that's why you came to this community, because now you know that we're all crazy about something. Yeah, I like Devin's gel print stuff. You mean, yeah, the jelly printing? Yeah, Devin is amazing at gel printing. Amazing. All right, you guys, my 2 hours is up, and I'm going to try and start keeping these streams to about 2 hours. I think that's about how long right now Robin can tolerate being left to his own devices. Not true. It's about how long my nerves can take until I feel like I need to go check on him. So I will go ahead and work on this. Probably not anymore today because I've got the neighbor coming over to bring me some stuff. And but in the morning, I'll have door guys here. Woohoo! So I'll just be sitting in here doodling, and then I will post it. And then I'll cut it up, put it in the Beast, and next week you'll see it in the Beast. Well, turn it into washi tape. Terry, did you ever get any of the washi paper? Did I send you some? Did Dee Dee send you some? All right, you guys. I know your time is very valuable, and I so appreciate you spending some of it with me. So I really appreciate you guys. I'd be lost without you guys. So thanks again, and go out in the world and be as kind as you can be. And love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.